And that's it, because you never had any lengthy spell at any other club after that, did you? And so that shows how big a part of your career Aldershot played to have those feelings.
100%, because when you feel like warmth from the fans and the community and stuff, like it's something that you want to stay with, and then you go elsewhere and you're still in love with a club that you should have really stayed at. So it was difficult because I'm not one of them. I'm one of them who goes off like feelings. I can't go to a club and just oh, it's work. It just that wears off on me after a bit. Just having it as a job. It was more than that for me. There's a love there as well. So yeah.
So why is that? Because I go back. I was talking to somebody else about this a couple of weeks ago. In terms of, I can remember with Aldershot when they were a professional team in the 70s and 80s, had a lot of players who came from the north, especially the northeast, from Scotland as well. They all came down. They played at Aldershot, played at the club for years. Most of them settled in the area. A number of them still live in the area now. And everybody I speak to has a similar feeling about their time when they played for Aldershot. Why does it have that feeling that other clubs that you play for don't have it? What made it that make you feel that way?
I think it's just like, as you come through the gate, it's just a rustic look there. And then, you go into the pitch down the tunnel. Not many of them where you just go down like that, like Anfield, you go down the tunnel. And then you look to the left and you're just seeing flags in the East Bank, red and blue flags. And everyone just, all the mixed ages you see in there. And the fans, they're not fans, they're supporters. I call them supporters because they're there through the good and bad times. They're not fans where they're just vanish if you're not doing too well. They're supporters, so they support you through the good and bad times. You can feel it's like a family community club. If I could, I would have stayed down there and lived down there, like I was living down there for a bit after I left, and really enjoying it. And I had to come back to my family and what have you. But I do try and get up as much as I can. But it's just one of them things, It's just, I don't know. Maybe you have to ask other players and fans as well. But if you look at the history of a lot of players, when they leave Aldershot, they're not the same player. They don't do as well for their other clubs. It's either one way or the other. You not do too well for Aldershot and do well elsewhere, or you won't. So if you look at like Kirk Hudson and people like that, he's left and not really kicked on how you want. Danny Hilton's kicked on, but if you look at the majority of them, the majority of players who leave Aldershot, they're never the same players again. I don't believe anyway. Even you look at Nicky Bull, what a legend he was like, and he's gone elsewhere, and he just wasn't the same. And Aldershot's got something about it. It really has. You probably feel it yourself as a supporter.
Yeah, absolutely. You're tied to it really, and I think sometimes you try and get away from it, you can't, and you end up back with it, and you just want it to succeed and to do well. Obviously, have the frustrations up and down, and that's part of being a football fan, of course. But one thing I noticed with yourself is that you were always, some players, they'll come in, they'll train, they'll go home, and that'll be it. But you always looked at, I always felt a bigger picture as such. I can remember having army games, of course, being involved with the Army Football Association. We'd often play games, and we play a lot of Aldershot youth and under 21s and that kind of stuff. You'd always come along and keep an interest in the local football as well. You always had a little bit more of an interest in just playing for a football team.
100%. I always wanted to like be a part of the community and stuff, like, and see what's going on and see how people are doing and what have you. And I loved watching the Army games. I went to a lot at our old training ground with the track round it, and I remember going to one at the ground you were at. I think it was a final there. I went and watched it. So I'm a football person. I can't just sit at home. I like to be out watching games and meeting people and socialising and networking. And I used to go to a lot of Farnborough games as well. Midweek games if we didn't have a game. It was just I just like being out and learning and meeting new people. So I've got loads of friends in Farnborough and Fleet and stuff that I'm still in touch with, and I see when I go down south. So can't wait to go back down there. I've not been down. I think I've been down now for not been down for a couple of years. but I will do once all this COVID stuff's over with, and I'll be down to watch some games.
Did you ever fancy being a manager?
You know what? It goes through my mind because at the moment I do a lot of grassroots football. So I've got a team, Old Trafford Juniors. So I oversee all the players, all the teams there from under sixes up to under 14s, and it's brilliant. And then through that, you know, I found a few players, and I've opened up a development centre for Manchester City. So I've got that in Old Trafford, and we get all the rough diamonds from the inner city areas, from Moss Side, Hume, Whalley Range, where there's a lot of single parents and a lot of poverty and stuff. But we've managed to unearth a few diamonds in there, and they've gone into City and United and stuff and been signed. So that's been good. So I've been doing that. But my friend at Trafford, he's always telling me, Granny, come down and do the team with me and stuff like. But it is something that, you know, it does cross my mind every now and then. But again, I feel like you have to have that little nasty streak in you to be a manager. Maybe I could be part of a management, but not a manager, because I hate letting people down. I hate making people be sad. I want everyone to be happy. And as a manager, you know, it's a difficult thing to make like 20 plus people happy. So I think if anything, I'd have to be like an Anwar and be a number two and be a part of a management. But I even said to Anwar and Danny, I said, look, every time I see a player, I offer them to Aldershot, and he's not took one yet. I offered you Matt Smith, he's playing in the Championship now for Millwall. I offered you Curtis Tilt, he's playing in Championship for Rotherham, he's on loan at the moment. Josh Gordon, he's playing League Two. Michael Nottingham playing League One. And I keep telling them about players, and they never take them. Then at the Altrincham game, they was wanting to take Ryan Colclough, but they said it too late. So he's ended up going to Altrincham, and he's a winger, and you would have loved him as Aldershot fans. They wanted to take him, but it took too long to get back to me. And that's the only time anyone said, yep, we'll take somebody. So I always, Aldershot, they're the first result I always look out for, the team I want to win all the time. And anytime I see any non-league players I think got potential to play in the Football League, Aldershot is my first port of contact every time.
And scouting so important, isn't it? Having that scouting network, it can. I always have this thing. When I was always involved, it used to baffle me a little bit, because clubs would always try and cut corners where they could when it comes to scouting. But my outlook, and this is easy to say now because you know, step back and you analyse things and you think, if you've got a productive scouting setup, you actually could save yourself so much money in the long term by just getting that network correctly functioned. And I'm a real advocate of it. I think it's so important, even more so now than it probably was in the past, because of the way football has gone. But clubs have really got to take that seriously.
100%, and like, you know, they could use me for free, because I don't ask for it when I ring them and say to players. So it's Anwar who I speak to more, and I think, you know, maybe that might be something that Aldershot's missing. You know, a mixture of Northerners up there as well, because when we won the league, there's a mixture of Northerners and Southerners, you know, and Rhys Day was Welsh, you know, Rob Elvins from Birmingham. Maybe now I think they've gone, it might be budget, I don't know. I think that most of them are Southerners now, but I always think it's good to have that mixture, you know, it just balances out the squad well. And there's players out there. You look at the boy at Solihull. I like him, 6'9" striker. Hudlin, he's just signed there, scored an unbelievable goal last night via Halifax. You got him from like I think eighth tier. I think three leagues below the National League. And honestly, he'll go on and play Football League. And this is a kid that they've given a chance to. And there's players out there if you give them a chance. There really is. There's loads out there. Yeah.
Just to sort of go on the back end now of our conversation, John, but touched on it a minute ago. Aldershot is still very close to your heart. The first result you always look for every week. You must have been very disappointed when it came out the Football League after being part of getting it into it, and then it spent 5 years there. And you know, don't get me wrong, we had some good times. We played West Ham at Upton Park and beat them in the League Cup. Played Manchester United, of course, at the Rec, which was a game I'm sure you would have loved to have been playing in if it had been a few years before. But you know, it all ended sour because you know the dream died, and we ended up out back into non-league football.
Yeah, and you know how tough it is to get out of the league as well. You know, you look at Oxford, how long they were down there, and clubs, and Notts County are finding it difficult now, to come out of there, and it's a difficult league to get out of. So, after all them years of fighting to get in it, Aldershot really should be, when you look at Morecambe's and stuff like that, and how well Accrington are doing, these bigger clubs than Aldershot, I wouldn't say they are, and they always seem to consolidate in League Two, and John Coleman's doing a great job in League One with Accrington overachieving now. And then you look at Burton, they were with us, they've ended up being in the Championship. I know that they're back down in League One now, but they ended up going up to the Championship. So you look at it, Aldershot, once you get there, I was hoping that, there'll forever be a football league team. And it was, it was sad to see him go back down,
So obviously we can't end without you telling me your favourite goal, because you must have a favourite goal that you scored for Aldershot.
Yeah, it's got to be, all the goals, I love all the goals, but it's probably the chip away at Salisbury, I'd say. My second goal v Salisbury, I'd say that was my favourite goal. I'd say that was,
Because Dean's going to hunt that out now, and he'll be putting that on when he puts all this together.
Yeah, it's brilliant, Capo. He needs to send me some DVDs. He said he's got loads more of interviews and goals and stuff, because I do a bit of coaching in the schools and stuff, so I showed some of the kids my goals, and I said, "Oh, you brilliant! You're on TV and stuff." So it's nice to show the kids and inspire the kids, because there's some really talented kids that are coaching the schools, and if they can get close to someone who's had a professional career, and they can see what you did, then it's possible to go and do it themselves. I always tell them, though, there's always going to be a bit more lows than highs, but the highs, it's worth taking them lows, because when you get the highs are good. I don't tell them it's like a drug, because they don't know what that is, but football, it's just a drug, and it's how to use your energy once you stop playing, and that's something I struggled with at first, and then I got into the coaching and stuff, and that, and now when I see kids go on and do well, that's a goal to me, so that replaces that feeling. And then I just play every now and then for my friends' team on a Sunday, which is good, and that's more for the social side and the physical side, which is good. But now it's not a case of winning or losing, ruining my weekend. It's more there to have fun and see mates that I didn't see for years and what have you. So it's brilliant. Yeah.
So obviously we need to get this COVID thing sorted out. John needs to be, on the way out, and then you can start travelling again. And obviously we'd love to see you back at the Rec. Once you're able to get down there, you'd always get a great reception, because you should do. I'm a great advocate that people who have served the club in the way that you have should be respected in that way, because you were a great servant of our football club. You say you've got some great memories of your time, but you've left a lot of great memories on the fans as well, and I think that's very important, and you played a big part in our progression at the time. So I'd like to thank you for taking the time out to reminisce, as we've done over the last hour or so, and I'm sure the fans will find a lot of this very intriguing, and they'll bring back some good memories as well. So thank you very much for your time.
And thanks for having me, Graham. You're always brilliant with me. You always ask the right questions. You never ask questions that could go to a dark place. You always ask good questions that make me feel good, and you're very thoughtful in the questions that you ask, and I really appreciate you. How you was with me, and you're the best person that I had and look forward to talking to after games. So I wish you a Merry Christmas, you and your family and all the fans and everyone, and hopefully we can get over this COVID stuff and all be back together soon.
Brilliant. Thank you, John. Thank you very much.
Brilliant, guys. See you later, Dean. Thanks, guys.
Take it easy.
Super ball, John Grant, wonderful finish. The league leaders are on their way to victory, and he has sealed it in style.